really drives me in my storytelling is like finding, like, even though we feel like we're all very like insular or on our own path, and life is so hard for the individual, I think there's so much more that we connect on, and on honestly in a global way as a human being than we want to give each other credit for. So I think in my stories are these stories that really find, I think, resonance across communities.
And specifically, growing up in a small town, what has your small town experiences done to help you in your film career in Los Angeles?
This is like much of what I touch on in my upcoming feature about Quincy. But I think like you grow up in a certain place. I think even growing up in LA, like, right, like you want to get to the places you've never been. Like, screw this place, get me out of here, get me across the world, which I think is like a very adolescent thought process. When you're a kid growing up in it, it was like, oh, I got to go to orchestra practice and then choir and then improv practice. And then I have this play and this, gosh, I'm so tired. Like, all I want to do is like be with my friend. And then, and then you grow up and you're like, wow. I was just so fortunate to have a community that not only like gave those opportunities to the young population, but a community that really fostered and supported the kids coming up. It was people showing up to concerts that didn't necessarily have kids in them, coming to plays, coming to musicals, because there is like such a artistic hunger in Quincy. So I think like that was something that I have most recently, like it's kind of a perspective change. And I think that's adulthood. I think that's what comes with loss and grief and all the things that you go through when you get older. Is like you really kind of look at things with this gratitude lens a little bit more.
Yeah, and you said you're working or you're getting ready to premiere a film about Quincy. What about Quincy in general kind of inspired you?
Yeah, I was telling someone the other day, I think I've had like images of this film for a long time in my head, like probably the past 10 years. But when it started coming into my head, like when I'd come back home to visit, I'd be down by the train tracks, like taking B-roll, just like being really interested in the history. And I'd be like, am I gonna shoot a film? And then there's that voice that's like, no, you're not shooting Quincy. You're not shooting a film in Quincy. And then like some very personal things happened and it kind of all solidified. I was like, oh my God, I'm shooting my first feature in Quincy. That's where it takes place. And the whole film is really about coming back to self, going back into your roots, exploring gratitude, exploring parts of your past and who you were in the past and the people that kind of lifted you up. So you can, really bring that energy and that support to the next generation of artists. So again, it is very meta. Like people are like, is it a documentary? I'm like, no, but I see where you're going. No, it's very much like based on my life, but it is a narrative, kind of dramedy, about an artist coming back home.
Since Caleb and I have been doing our show, this is not the first time that we've seen films either being premiered in Quincy or being about Quincy or having some very deep connection to Quincy. So, why do you think Quincy might be such a sort of a hub right now for films being premiered or films sort of being about the area? Do you think it's more the historical significance, the cultural significance, sort of, if you could go into why you think that, why, you know, some of these movies are actually, why the film industry is starting to sort of have a moment in Quincy?
There's something very magical about that place. I don't know if it's the literal land that, like, I don't know, but you see like these entrepreneurs and, John Wood Cumming and even like creating this magnificent cemetery on the bluffs of the Mississippi. You go there and it's like walking through a painting, right? I think it is just this appreciation that's happening right now for this place. And I don't know if that's like, maybe that's more actually saying more about the the world of entertainment right now. I think like it's been a really hard 5 years, and I think filmmakers are finally at this place where it's like, if you're gonna make the thing, you got to do it, and you got to do it yourself and figure it out. There's like no waiting around for the collapse of of the studio system is like upon us. So you just kind of have to like grab the reins. So I would almost say it's probably that too. It's like, where do people resonate? Where are the stories they want to tell? Quincy in the Midwest, like I think, is also an interesting place to write films about.